So I've been working for a long time to try and get a this certain trap on somebody. It goes something like this. So the Scandinavian, you attack the queen. Queen moves over to a5. You push b4. This is called the Meiosis gambit, where you're gambiting this pawn. The idea is a lot of the times you want them to take it and you develop your rook. That's one way you can go with this. But there's another way you can go with this, which is you bring your knight out, attacking the c7 square. The queen comes back to a5, protecting the attack from the attack. And then the idea is you want to bring at some point you want to bring this bishop out, attacking the f7 square. And if black doesn't know what's going on here, he might just simply attack the knight. You sacrifice the bishop, and then if the king does take, he doesn't have to take. He can actually just move over to d8. But if he does fall for the trap, you can go to h5 with your queen to h5. He doesn't have any good squares to go to. If he goes to the dark squares, you're just going to check him, and he's going to have to go to the light square anyways. If he goes to the light squares, which he would end up with the dark, if you went to the dark squares, he'd have to move over. You just check him and win the queen. And his only other move, if he does take this bishop and falls for the trap, is to push this pawn, which again, he does win your knight, but you win the queen. So that's the idea of this trap. So the best move for him, some of the best moves are to bring the queen back. You bring your bishop out, and instead of attacking the knight, they bring their knight out, protecting their queen. That's, I believe, the best move. There's another point where he can actually save this somewhat. If he does attack your knight with the pawn, it's still not completely over for him at this point, because when you take this pawn, you can just move over to d8, and he's somewhat okay. You drop your knight back, and his king is in the center of the board, very vulnerable, and you're going to develop the rest of your pieces. So that's another way it can go. But I've been trying to get this trap on someone for a very long time, and this is how my game went against 1200. Bring the knight out. So they didn't bring the queen back yet. I'm trying to coax them to kind of go back there with this bishop move. A better move probably would have been a3, just a3, or even c3 maybe would have been fine, because at some point this is actually a bad move, because when I go for my trap, he does fall for it. He pushes the pawn. The idea is you sacrifice the bishop, but in this variation it's a little different. If he comes back to d8, the best move is to come back your knight to c3, and then he wins the bishop. So I'm kind of banking on the idea that he's going to take the bishop, which he does in this game. The queen comes out, and at this point he just resigned. So I finally got this trap on somebody. It was very, very nice to finally get that. After so many games, I've been trying to find a way to get this trap on somebody, and it finally worked out.